What is up, guys? Today I wanted to talk about self-care. More specifically, I wanted to talk about self-care on the micro level. So you will know by now, obviously, that there is a correlation between how much self-care you engage in and how much self-love that you have. Obviously, the more self-love that you have, the more willing you are to take care of yourself. And self-love dictates a whole lot of things in your life, from the sort of relationships you pursue and find yourself in or put up with, to the sort of life that you want to live in terms of career. If you want to follow your dreams and you want to do something that's kind of non-conforming, you've got to have a certain level of self-love there, because if you don't feel like you're worth it, you're not going to pursue those things. So self-care doesn't need to be this massive undertaking. Actually, cultivating self-love towards yourself comes from the little things that you are doing on a day-to-day basis. And this reminds me of a quote by James Clear, who wrote Atomic Habits. And he talks about how small actions you are doing on a daily basis add up over time. 1% might not seem like much in a moment, but if you add that up day after day after day, it starts to make a difference. When you buy some new clothes for yourself, when you buy something that you need, that's a message that you're sending back to yourself that you're worth it. And it's those little things you are doing on a day-to-day basis that matter. If you're neglecting those little things, how can you expect to take care of yourself on the macro level, on the big level? I've had these covers in my room for ages, these duvet covers, and I know today I'm like, okay, I need to go out and buy myself some new covers because it'll make my room look nicer, I'll feel better about myself, and I'll be taking care of myself. It's something good for yourself. There are just so many instances I can think of in my own life where I haven't done those little things, and subconsciously all I've done is sent that message back to myself that I'm not worth it, or I'm not worth having it. We have to think about this stuff in terms of feedback loops. Now, what do I mean about feedback loops? It simply means that every action that you are taking in the day is going to reflect back on yourself. And I know it can sound really trivial, and to people who don't deal with self-worth issues, self-love issues might be like, why the fuck does that matter? But it really does for those of us who are trying to cultivate self-love. We've probably been in these bad habits of not looking after ourselves. And this 1% stuff I was talking about earlier works both ways. So you could be making 1% gains every day that are going to accumulate to something good, but you could also be making 1% losses every day. And another great quote, I love the work that James Clear does. If you haven't read Atomic Habits, read it. He says that every action you take is a vote for the person that you want to be. And that quote is just, it hits nail right on the head. Everything that you are choosing to do in the day is a vote for who you want to be. So I really want you guys to walk away from this and think about things in your life that you could be doing that you're neglecting. Really small things. Maybe you know you want to buy, I don't know, some plants for your living room. I'm just using more examples of myself. But I know now that this place would look so much nicer if I just bought some plants and made it look a bit more vibrant, and I would feel better because I'd feel like I'm taking care of my home. I would feel like I'm making it more comfortable for myself and nicer for myself, and it all reflects back on how you view yourself. That's the thing you have to remember here. So go away from this video and have that thought. Think about things that you're doing, like, oh, just putting that off, and just keep in mind that everything that you're doing does reflect on the way that you view yourself. And I think that was the main message that I wanted to say today. It could be really difficult if you are somebody who does neglect their needs and neglects taking care of yourself. It can be difficult to start on that journey. And Robert Glover, if you've ever read Normal Mr. Nice Guy, definitely recommend it. He talks about this as well. He basically talks about how when we start taking care of ourselves, what's going to happen is that if we have a low self-worth or we don't think too highly of ourselves, we're going to have a conflict between what we're wanting to do and what we feel like we should do. And that feeling of, oh, I feel like I shouldn't, is coming from that inner belief of, I'm not worth it, I'm not worth more. So you can get this kind of conflict and almost feel uncomfortable when you're taking these steps to take care of yourself, because there's this like dichotomy between what you're wanting to do and what you believe you should do. And they call this cognitive dissonance. It's like the conflict between your actions and your true beliefs. But the thing is, your beliefs can change over time. Your beliefs are not solidified. If you believe that you're unworthy, if you believe you're not worth taking care of yourself, That doesn't have to be your view going forward. Now, you might experience a bit of discomfort when you do start doing this, but over time it will get easier. And that goes back to another James Clear quote when he says, if you believe anything about yourself, you will have evidence to support that belief. So if you have a low self-worth, you'll be doing things on a daily basis that support that belief about yourself. So how do we change that belief? We start creating new evidence. You start taking care of yourself here today. And that starts on the micro level. That starts by doing those little things, making those 1% gains, and they do add up. You can change your beliefs, you can build your self-worth, but that is a choice which you have to make. You can make it today. You can leave this video and you can go, you know what? I'm going to do something nice for myself. I'm going to accept it. I'm going to do it, and I'll feel better because of it. It feels so good to take care of yourself. So that is the message I wanted to send home today. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. You can check back next Wednesday for another video. Leave a comment down below. I love interacting with you guys, and your support means the world. And I will see you guys next week for another video.